All right. Hey, meal plan people. If you have selected the meal plan option, you should have received two emails. The week one and the week two. I also included a note in there that we do sell the meal plans for dirt cheap, $10 a week. So if you enjoy the structure of them and you would like to have some additional weeks, not only is that great that you can then follow them for more weeks, less thinking, grocery list is provided, but then it also gives you more options for swapping. So, you're bound to run into a breakfast you don't like, but if you have several weeks, you can say, oh, you know what? I don't like week 3 breakfast, but I do like week 5 breakfast. So I'm going to put that in. Or, hey, week 4, not my favorite breakfast, but I love that breakfast from week 1. So I'm going to do that one instead. So you always have those options. Do keep in mind that we do sell the meal plans. They are part of our income. So we do appreciate you not sharing them or like posting them in the closed group. We try to make them as affordable as possible. But that is part of our revenue stream. So we do appreciate you keeping that in mind and respecting that. With the meal plans, we tried to make it really clear, but I'll give you an example. In week 1, you have to eat 2 breakfasts. So one would be upon waking. So 6 o'clock in the morning, you would eat one, and then maybe you would have another breakfast at 10 o'clock in the morning. It gave you an option. There was a quinoa option, and then it said and or a hard-boiled egg option. And there were other things listed with it. So what that means is that you could choose to do the top one, the quinoa, at 6 a.m. and again at 10 a.m. And then you'd move on to your lunch at 12:30, 1 o'clock. Or if you like a little bit more variety, you could do the quinoa option at 6 a.m. and then the hard-boiled egg option at 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, and then move on to your lunch at noon or 1 or whenever you eat. Okay, so that is how you could do it. You could also do a quinoa here, a hard-boiled egg here too. So it gives you some variety if you don't like the option. You can also send us a quick message. Things are really swappable. So if you're like, I don't really like hard-boiled eggs, but I like eating non-traditional foods for breakfast. So we'll say, hey, instead of eating the hard-boiled eggs, why don't you have 3 or 4 ounces of tuna fish? Okay, that would be a great swap. The egg there is the protein. We would tell you to put a little olive oil on there so you get some fat content in it. So it's manageable. Same thing when you look at the lunch. It's like, oh, I think one week there's like a turkey burger recipe. Oh, I hate turkey burger. Get ground chicken. So you can just swap it out with a different meat. That's absolutely fine. Any of the fruits, any of the veggies, they can be swapped. Of course, you're welcome to send us a message, but the big thing with the meal plans is that you're sticking with the serving size. So if you eat the lunch and you're like, oh, that was good, I could eat another turkey burger. You can't. Okay? Whatever is listed there, that's what you're going to eat. That's one of the reasons that we gain weight. We eat too much. Our portion sizes are too big. And so that's what you have to stick with is the serving sizes. There are some weeks where there's 1 breakfast, a snack, and 2 lunches. So in this week, I think week 1, it was 2 breakfasts and then a lunch. So they look a little bit different, but you can always trade them up. If in week 2 you don't like the snack, you could eat one of the breakfast instead. So we kind of balanced everything out so you can just plug them in however you would like, but you have to stay true to the serving sizes, to the heart of the meal, the fact that there's a protein, a fat, and a carb. This is something I don't know if you've ever thought about, but when you crave anything, it's never protein. It's always fats or carbs. Okay, if you're having a bad day, you want a bowl of cereal, that's carbs. If you want a bowl of ice cream, that's fats and carbs. Very rarely are you like, I'm so frustrated, I just want a piece of chicken. Says no one ever. Okay, it's never the protein. That's why you have to make sure you get the protein. I'll have people that are like, well, I love this little chickpea dish that's in the meal plans, but I couldn't eat all the chicken. You need to eat the chicken. It's not that much. The protein is what keeps you satiated. It keeps you full. It keeps your energy levels high. So that is very important. I told Ellie last night that my motto for this challenge is going to be food is never the answer unless it's protein. Okay, and that's exactly it. Food is not going to make all of your stress go away. It might give you that little quick sugar spike and you'll feel like, on top of the world for 15 minutes and then it stops. Food is never the answer unless it's protein. So get that protein in. And that goes for you macro people too watching this video. The protein is huge. Very rarely do you want to eat it, especially in the quantity that we're asking you to eat it. That's going to be the game changer. Not only is it going to keep you full, it's going to eliminate your cravings. It's going to keep you on the plan. It's also going to change your body composition. Bodies look different eating appropriate levels of protein. They look different than if you were eating all of those calories in the forms of carbs and fats. It's just the way it is. If you want to lose inches, if you want a little more definition, I'm not talking about bulking. I'm talking about just trimming your fat and having a leaned out body look. Protein intake is crucial for that. So meal plan people, my last parting words of advice to you is it's going to be hard. You have to decide now that you're no longer making any decisions. You don't have to decide, am I gonna follow the meal plan for breakfast? Am I gonna stick with it at lunch? No, honey, you've already decided. You're doing the meal plans. You are going to prep your food, and that's it. Turn that brain off, take the container out of the fridge, insert it into the mouth, and go on with your life. That's it. It's going to take you 1 to 2 weeks. You're going to feel like shit. You're going to be tired. This goes for macro people too. You're going to have a headache. You're going to think this healthy eating is killing me. But if you can get through the first 2 weeks, and there's nothing going on the first 2 weeks in January, you're not missing out on anything. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to buckle down. We're gonna actually follow through with something that we committed to. And then after those 2 weeks, it's gonna be so much easier. But 14 days of leaning in on this and we're not thinking. We're simply following the plan that we committed to. Send me any questions you have.